Good morning. Or maybe for some of you, it's still night because you're too damn lazy to get out of bed. Let me tell you something. Success isn't some mystery. It's not some secret formula locked away in a vault. It's simple. It's in the things you don't want to do. It's in the things that separate winners from everybody else. And one of the biggest things, getting up early every single day. Most people hit snooze before they even hit the day. They wake up already making excuses. I'm tired. I didn't get enough sleep. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the language of weakness. The winners, the real ones, they wake up while the rest of the world is still dreaming. You think getting up early is about the morning? Hell no. It's about discipline. It's about setting the tone for your entire life. When that alarm goes off, it's a battle, and you either win or you lose. If you lose first thing in the morning, what makes you think you're going to win the rest of the day? The world doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't care that you're tired. There's someone out there grinding while you're making up reasons why you can't. Someone is running at 4 a.m. Someone is studying before the sun comes up. Someone is pushing while you're sleeping. And when you meet them, they will win. You got to create a mindset that says, I don't care how I feel. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if it's cold. I get up and I execute. That's it. No negotiations, no compromises. Discipline over feelings. You want more out of life? You want to win? Then stop sleeping on your potential. Set your alarm, get up early, and go earn it. Because nobody's coming to save you. The moment that alarm goes off, you are in a fight against comfort, against laziness, against that voice in your head that tells you 5 more minutes won't hurt. That voice is a liar. That voice is the same voice that's kept you stuck in the same place for years. It's the voice that's let you off the hook every time things got tough. And every single time you listen to it, you lose. You lose before the day has even started. You lose before you've even had a chance to prove yourself. The winners, the ones who dominate their field, the ones who refuse to be average, they don't negotiate with that voice. They don't give themselves an option. They don't reach for the snooze button because they know what it represents. It represents weakness. It represents giving in. And if you start your day by giving in, what makes you think you won't give in later? You start the morning making excuses, and by noon you're full of them. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. I'll eat better next week. I'll start my goals when I feel ready. That's how people live their entire lives, waiting, postponing, making little deals with themselves that keep them trapped in the same cycle of mediocrity. You think it's just sleep. No, it's not about sleep. It's about mentality. It's about discipline. It's about whether you're the type of person who rises to the challenge or the type of person who rolls over and accepts defeat before the day has even begun. People love to talk about winning. They love to talk about success, about how bad they want it. But when that alarm clock rings and it's dark outside and their bed is warm, suddenly that hunger disappears. That motivation fades because motivation is a lie. Motivation will leave you the second life gets uncomfortable. But discipline doesn't flinch. Discipline doesn't care how tired you are. Discipline says, get up anyway. When you wake up early, you are proving something to yourself. You are proving that you are in control. You are proving that you are not a slave to your feelings, to your excuses, to the temporary comfort of your pillow. The minute you get up, you are sending a message to yourself and to the world that you are here to dominate. You see, most people don't even realize they're losing the first battle of the day. They think it's harmless. They think hitting snooze is normal. But that's what separates the greats from the average. The greats understand that the smallest choices matter. That success isn't built in a day. It's built in the moments when nobody is watching. It's built when you get up before the sun. When you lace up your shoes while the rest of the world is asleep. When you refuse to take the easy way out. Some people will say, I need my sleep. Yeah, well, you also need your dreams. You need to stop waking up every day behind schedule, rushing, scrambling, feeling like you're already playing catch up. You need to stop wasting the most valuable hours of your day. When you get up early, you're ahead. You're already winning. And when you start the day winning, that momentum carries into everything you do. You're sharper. You're focused. You're in control. When you wake up before everyone else, something changes in you. You realize that you're built different. You realize that you are willing to do what others won't. That changes how you walk, how you talk, how you think. It makes you unstoppable. Because if you can beat the first battle, if you can override that voice in your head that says, stay in bed, then you can override every other excuse that shows up throughout the day. The morning isn't just about waking up, it's about setting a standard for yourself, a standard that says, I don't back down. A standard that says, I don't let comfort dictate my action. A standard that says, I am in control. If you can control the first decision of your day, you can control everything else. If you start the day with a win, you are conditioning yourself to win all day long. The weak will always find a reason to sleep in. The strong don't need one. They don't need comfort. They don't need an easy way out. They need discipline, and they demand greatness from themselves before the world even gets a chance to. That's why they win. That's why they succeed, because they refuse to lose the first battle of the day. Here's an intense, no excuses expansion of your second keynote in a relentless, high energy tone. Most people live their lives controlled by how they feel. They wake up and ask themselves, do I feel like getting up? Do I feel like working out? Do I feel like pushing myself today? And the second the answer is no, they back down, they roll over, they make excuses, they put things off, they wait until they feel like it. And that's why they never win. Because the people who are waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel motivated, waiting for some magical moment where it all makes sense, those people never make it. Discipline is what separates the ones who achieve from the ones who don't. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm sore. I don't care if the world is against me. I do what needs to be done. It is the ability to act, no matter what is going on inside your head. Because your feelings, they're temporary. They change with the wind. Some mornings you might wake up ready to attack the day. Other mornings you might wake up sluggish, unmotivated, drained. And guess what? It doesn't matter. The work still has to get done. You cannot live your life ruled by feelings. That is what average people do. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They let their moods determine their success. But champions, they don't rely on motivation. They don't need to feel like doing something in order to do it. They show up every single day, no matter what. They wake up early when they don't want to. They train when they don't feel like it. They work when they are exhausted. Because they know that if they let feelings control them, they will never accomplish anything great. Think about it. If success were about feeling good all the time, then everyone would have it. If it were easy, if it were comfortable, if it were convenient, then every single person walking this planet would be at the top. But they're not, because most people give in to their feelings. Most people let their emotions dictate their discipline. Most people only push when it's easy, when it's exciting, when it's fun. But when it gets hard, when it gets uncomfortable, when life punches them in the face, they fold. Discipline is about doing the work regardless of the circumstances. It's about having a standard and refusing to negotiate with yourself. That means if you say you're going to wake up early, you wake up early. If you say you're going to train, you train. If you say you're going to stick to a diet, you stick to it. No matter how you feel, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much your mind tries to convince you to take the easy way out, you do it anyway. Because that's what winners do. They don't make deals with themselves. They don't make exceptions. They execute. Your mind will always look for an escape. It will always search for the easiest route. It will tell you, just take today off. You deserve a break. You can start tomorrow. And the second you listen to that voice, you're done. Because today becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And before you know it, you spent years making the same excuses, stuck in the same place, wondering why nothing in your life is changing. The truth is, the people who achieve the most are the ones who master their ability to act, regardless of how they feel. They override that voice in their head. They recognize it for what it is: weakness, comfort, a trap. And instead of giving in, they push forward. They know that every time they push through discomfort, they get stronger. Every time they do something they don't feel like doing, they become more disciplined. Every time they choose action over excuses, they gain power over their own mind. Most people don't even realize how much control they are giving away to their feelings. They say things like, I'm not a morning person, I'm just not motivated, I just don't feel like it. And they accept those statements as if they are facts. But they are not facts. They are lies. They are limitations. They are chains that keep people locked in mediocrity. Because the truth is, you can change your mindset. You can reprogram your brain. You can train yourself to act no matter how you feel. But it requires discipline. It requires a refusal to give in to weakness. You have to stop making excuses for yourself. You have to stop waiting for some magical feeling to show up. Because motivation is unreliable. It will leave you the moment things get tough. And if you're depending on it to get things done, you will fail. Instead, you need to build habits. You need to commit to discipline. You need to make a decision that no matter what, you will show up, you will execute, and you will not let your emotions control you. There will be days when you don't want to move. Days when your body is screaming at you to take it easy. Days when your mind tells you that you've done enough. Those are the most important days because those are the days when discipline is forged. Those are the days when you separate yourself from the pack. Those are the days when the real winners emerge. Because anyone can work hard when they feel good. Anyone can be disciplined when it's easy. But true strength is built in those moments when everything inside you is telling you to quit and you refuse. The greatest achievements in history did not come from people who felt like showing up every day. They came from people who did the work when it was hard. People who pushed through when it didn't feel good. People who refused to let their emotions dictate their actions. And that is the difference between success and failure. That is the difference between winning and losing. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to be different, if you want to rise above the masses, then you have to make one decision. Discipline over feelings every single time. Most people live their lives convinced that the world owes them something. They think that just because they want success, it's going to show up at their door. They believe that because they work hard once in a while, they deserve results. But the truth is the world doesn't care. It doesn't care how bad you want it. It doesn't care how many times you've tried. It doesn't care about your excuses, your struggles, your past. The only thing that matters is what you do when nobody's watching. The only thing that matters is whether you are willing to outwork the person next to you. Somewhere out there right now, while you're thinking about what you should do next, there's someone already doing it. While you're debating whether to get up early, there's someone already grinding. While you're making excuses about why you're tired, why you need a break, why today isn't the right day, there's someone pushing past those same feelings and making it happen. And when you finally step into the arena, when you finally decide to compete, you will face them. And they will win. Not because they're more talented, not because they're smarter, but because they put in the work when you didn't. Success is not about luck. It's not about circumstances. It's about the relentless pursuit of excellence. It's about waking up every single day with the mindset that you have something to prove, because you do. You have to prove to yourself that you have what it takes. You have to prove that you won't fold under pressure. You have to prove that when things get hard, you don't break, you don't back down, you don't stop. There are people who dream, and then there are people who do. Most people fall into the first category. They talk a big game, they say they want success, they post about their goals, they make plans, but when it comes time to execute, they hesitate. They delay, they tell themselves they'll start next week. They let distractions, doubts, and fear keep them from doing what needs to be done. And before they know it, years have passed and they are still in the same place, still making the same excuses, still wondering why things haven't changed. The world doesn't reward people who talk about what they're going to do. It rewards people who get up every day and take action, whether they feel like it or not. It rewards the ones who refuse to be outworked, the ones who refuse to make excuses, the ones who understand that every single second wasted is an opportunity lost. Because while you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, someone else is pushing past their limits. While you're waiting for the perfect moment, someone else is making the moment perfect by taking action. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, every time you choose to take the easy way out, you are losing ground. You are falling behind. Because the world does not stop for you. The competition does not stop. Life does not slow down so you can catch up. Either you rise to the challenge or you get left behind. That's how it works. The people who are winning at life, they aren't waiting for permission. They aren't waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to start. They aren't waiting for the stars to align. They wake up every single day and go after what they want with everything they have. You have to decide what kind of person you're going to be. Are you going to be the person who blames their circumstances, who looks at other people's success and makes excuses about why they have it easier? Or are you going to be the person who takes full responsibility, who understands that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you do? There is no magic formula. There is no secret hack. The path to success is simple, but it's not easy. It requires relentless effort. It requires an insane level of discipline. It requires showing up when you don't feel like it, when it's inconvenient, when it hurts, because that's what separates the elite from everyone else. They don't care how they feel. They don't care about how tired they are. They don't care about how unfair life is. They just put in the work, and that's why they win. The problem is, most people aren't willing to go that far. They want success, but they don't want the struggle. They want the rewards, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want the end result, but they don't want to endure the process. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why they watch from the sidelines while others pass them by. Because the people who actually make it, the ones who actually achieve their goals, they understand that there is no shortcut. There is no easy way. There is only the grind. If you want to separate yourself, if you want to rise above the competition, then you have to be willing to do what most people won't. You have to be willing to go all in when others quit. You have to be willing to suffer, to push past your limits, to embrace the discomfort, because success is not given, it is earned. And it is earned in the hours when nobody is watching, in the moments when you are exhausted, but you keep going anyway, in the decisions you make when it would be easier to quit. People love to make excuses. They love to tell themselves that life isn't fair, that some people have it easier, that they're just unlucky. But the truth is, the ones who succeed are the ones who refuse to play the victim. They don't waste time complaining. They don't waste energy blaming others. They take control of their lives. They wake up every single day with one goal: to be better than they were yesterday. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to wake up earlier? Are you willing to train harder? Are you willing to push yourself beyond what you think is possible? Because if you're not, if you're still making excuses, if you're still waiting for someone to hand you success, then you will never get it. There are no participation trophies in life. You either win or you lose. You either put in the work or you don't. And if you don't, someone else will. And when you meet them, they will beat you. Because while you were sleeping, they were grinding. While you were making excuses, they were executing. While you were hoping for success, they were making it happen. The way you start your morning dictates everything. It sets the pace. It sets the tone. It determines whether you're going to attack the day or let the day attack you. Most people don't realize this. They think mornings don't matter. They roll out of bed when they feel like it, hit the snooze button a few times, check their phone, and then rush to start their day, already feeling behind. They stumble through the morning like it's just something to get through, not understanding that those first few hours shape everything that follows. The ones who dominate life, they don't start their day like that. They don't wake up reacting to whatever the world throws at them. They wake up with purpose. They wake up with discipline. They wake up knowing that the way they spend their morning determines the momentum they carry into everything else. They wake up early because they refuse to be like everyone else. They refuse to be average. They refuse to be caught off guard by life. You don't just wake up early because it sounds good. You wake up early because it gives you control. It gives you time. It gives you an edge. The world is quiet. The distractions are minimal. Nobody is texting you. Nobody is asking for favors. Nobody is pulling you in 100 different directions. It's just you and the work, you and your goals, you and the grind. And in those early hours, before the rest of the world is even awake, that's when champions are made. That's when you build yourself into something different. If you wait until the rest of the world is up, until everyone is moving, until the noise starts, then you're already behind. You're reacting. You're playing defense instead of offense. You're letting the world dictate how your day is going to go instead of setting the terms yourself. That's how most people live. They wake up when they feel like it, check their phone, get bombarded with emails, messages, news, and suddenly they're drowning before they've even had a chance to think. That's not how you win. That's not how you build an unstoppable mindset. When you wake up early, you're showing yourself that you are in control. You're proving that you have the discipline to do what most people won't. You're proving that you dictate the terms of your life, not your emotions, not your circumstances, not the outside world. And that carries over into everything else you do. It builds confidence. It builds resilience. It builds the mindset of a winner. Most people rely on motivation to get moving, but motivation is garbage. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel like getting up early and some days you won't. The difference between winners and everyone else is that winners don't care about feelings. They don't wait for the perfect mood to hit them before they take action. They wake up and execute no matter what. That's discipline. That's the difference. Your morning is your foundation. If you start it strong, you carry that strength into the rest of your day. If you start it weak, you carry that weakness too. It's that simple. A strong morning routine builds momentum, and momentum is everything. You ever notice how when you start the day right, when you wake up early, when you work out, when you attack the morning with discipline, the rest of the day just flows? You feel sharper. You make better choices. You carry that energy into everything you do. But when you start the day late, when you sleep in, when you wake up feeling rushed, everything feels off. You're scattered. You're chasing the day instead of leading it. Winning is about stacking the odds in your favor. It's about making small choices that add up to massive results over time. And one of the most powerful choices you can make is to take control of your morning. Get up early. Get your mind right. Get your body moving. Get ahead before the world even knows what hit it. You have to treat the morning like it's sacred. It's not just another part of your day. It's the most important part. It's the foundation for everything else. If your foundation is weak, everything built on top of it is weak too. That's why most people struggle. They start their day without a plan, without intention, without discipline. And then they wonder why nothing ever changes. They wonder why they always feel behind, why they always feel exhausted, why they always feel stuck. When you wake up early, you separate yourself. You do what most people aren't willing to do. You set a tone that carries into everything else. You put yourself in control instead of letting the world dictate your time, your energy, your focus. That's how you build a winning mindset. That's how you get ahead. That's how you dominate. Most people don't see the connection. They don't realize that the reason they're failing is because they start their day like everyone else. They don't realize that the reason they feel overwhelmed is because they spend their mornings reacting instead of leading. They don't realize that every time they hit snooze, every time they start their day without a plan, every time they choose comfort over discipline, they are conditioning themselves to lose. Every morning you have a choice. You can wake up and be like everyone else, slow, distracted, reactive, unprepared, or you can wake up and take control. You can wake up and set the tone for your life. You can wake up and put yourself in the mindset of a winner. The ones who win at the highest level, they understand this. They don't let their mornings go to waste. They don't give themselves the option to be weak. They wake up with a mission. They wake up with intensity. They wake up with a clear purpose, and they execute. And that's why they stay ahead while everyone else struggles to keep up. If you want to change your life, change your mornings. If you want to take control, stop waiting until the day happens to you and start taking charge from the moment you open your eyes. Wake up early. Train your body, train your mind. Set the standard for the rest of the day. Because the way you start determines the way you finish. Most people never tap into their full potential. They wake up, go through the motions, and settle for a life that is far below what they are truly capable of. They convince themselves that they are doing enough, that they are working hard, that they are pushing themselves, but deep down they know the truth. They know they are capable of more. They know they are leaving opportunities on the table, but they let fear, laziness, and self-doubt keep them stuck. The real battle isn't in the gym, it's not in the office, it's not out there in the world where people are watching. The real battle is in your mind. It's the fight between who you are now and who you know you can be. It's the battle between comfort and growth, between weakness and strength, between excuses and action. And every single day, you make a choice. You either rise up and push past your limits, or you give in and stay the same. Most people will never understand what it means to push themselves to the edge. They have no idea what they are truly capable of because they have never gone all in. They have never emptied the tank. They have never put themselves in situations where they had no choice but to grow. And because of that, they stay stuck in the same cycle, living the same life, making the same mistakes, and wondering why nothing ever changes. The only way to break that cycle is to push yourself beyond what you think is possible. You have to stop operating at half speed. You have to stop giving yourself an out. You have to stop making excuses about why you can't do more, why you can't go harder, why you can't be better. Because the truth is, you can, you just won't. You're too comfortable. You're too afraid of failure. You're too attached to the idea that growth should be easy, but it's not. It's supposed to be painful. It's supposed to break you down before it builds you up. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. Most people want success, but they don't want the struggle. They want the results, but they don't want the process. They want to be great, but they don't want to suffer for it. And that's why they never make it. Because greatness is reserved for those who are willing to pay the price. It's reserved for the ones who are willing to suffer, to struggle, to push themselves to the absolute limit, and then go even further. The problem is most people don't even know what their limit is. They quit long before they ever reach it. They stop at the first sign of discomfort. They slow down when things get hard. They tell themselves that they've done enough, that they can stop now, that they can take a break. And that's why they never break through. Because every time they stop, every time they pull back, every time they let themselves off the hook, they reinforce weakness. You have to train your mind to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. You have to push yourself to levels that most people will never reach. You have to be willing to suffer for your goals. Because if you don't, someone else will. And when you meet them, when you go head to head with them, they will break you. Not because they are more talented, not because they are smarter, but because they were willing to go further. They were willing to do what you weren't. And that's what separates the best from everyone else. Most people have never felt what it's like to be truly exhausted, to be truly empty, to give everything they have and still find a way to give more. They think they're working hard, but they're not even close. They stop at 40%. They stop when it gets uncomfortable. They stop when it starts to hurt. But that's where the real growth begins. That's where the real transformation happens. You have to train yourself to keep pushing when your mind tells you to stop. You have to get comfortable. You have to develop the ability to override the voice in your head that tells you to slow down, to take it easy, to back off. Because that voice is a liar. That voice is weakness. That voice is the reason you're not where you want to be. And the only way to silence it is to prove it wrong over and over again until it has no power over you. Every time you push past your limits, you raise the bar. You show yourself what you're capable of. You expand your capacity for pain, for discipline, for suffering. And that carries over into everything else. Because if you can control your mind, if you can push through when everything in you wants to stop, then there is nothing you can't do. There is nothing that can break you. There is nothing that can stop you from getting what you want. The ones who make it to the top, the ones who separate themselves, they don't have some magic formula. They don't have some secret advantage. They just refuse to quit. They refuse to stop when it gets hard. They refuse to listen to the voice that tells them they can't. And because of that, they rise above everyone else. The truth is, you don't even know who you are yet. You don't even know what you're capable of. because you've never gone all in. You've never given everything you have. You've never pushed yourself past the point of exhaustion and kept going anyway. But when you do, when you finally decide to empty the tank, when you finally decide to stop playing at half speed and commit fully to the grind, you will realize that you are so much stronger than you ever thought. You will realize that the limits you thought you had were nothing but illusions. You will realize that you have been holding yourself back this entire time. Most people never get to that realization because they never push far enough. They never go deep enough. They never allow themselves to struggle long enough to see what's on the other side. But if you can get there, if you can embrace the suffering, if you can train your mind to keep going when everything in you wants to quit, then there is nothing that can stop you. There is nothing that can break you. You become unstoppable. You become dangerous. You become the kind of person that no obstacle, no setback, no challenge can ever defeat.